do you read good literature? What does it do for a person to read good quality books? And why do I think it's important for every person to read good quality literature and to have it in their lives? In this video, I will share with you 3 ways that I think good literature impacts the reader and makes a difference in their life, and why I think it should be part of every person's life. Hi, I'm Kenna, and I help parents inspire an environment of learning in their home. I'm glad you're here. There are 3 specific ways I want to share with you today of how good literature impacts the person reading it and how it makes a difference in their life. And the first one I actually got from Marlene Peterson. She calls it the Reservoir of Stories. And what that is just the collection of stories you have. They could be history or family history or fiction or life experience, but this reservoir of stories that you have in your mind makes a difference of how well you handle the challenges that come into your life. When you read a story of somebody overcoming something hard, it's easier to think in your mind, if he can do it, so can I. Whether it's a historical figure or a fictional figure, if it's a human figure, right, that struggles and overcomes, then we hope to be like that. We strive to be like that. And when hard things happen to us, we have a reservoir of stories to pull from that are going to help us know how to deal and how to deal well with the things that we're going through. My first thought of this is Corrie ten Boom. In her book, The Hiding Place, she tells about her experience in a concentration camp during World War II and how she came out of it. And it was, horrific experience. But somehow when you finish her book, you leave with hope. Hope that there can be healing from really hard things. Hope that one can keep their humanity during really hard things. And hope that there's forgiveness for those of us who don't do it right. And those are the kind of things that I can bring with me in my smaller things that I deal with, right? That I feel like she has taught me some tools that I can use, that she's part of my reservoir of stories, and I am better for it. The second one is that good literature introduces new ideas, new perspectives, and expands and broadens our ways of thinking. It can expose us to different cultures that we can't go visit on our own. It can expose us with different ideas and mindsets that we don't have. And it can broaden our mind and help us understand each other and to really have a good conversation with ourselves about what we believe, why we believe it, and what is true. And it leaves you with a better perspective of life. It challenges our preconceived beliefs and it challenges our paradigms. And good literature can be very paradigm shifting and very expanding so that we can see the world more clearly, see truth more clearly, see and understand people more clearly. Which brings me to the third one, which is that good literature points out human nature and builds character as a result. We see human nature in good literature. We see principles lived or broken, and how we can avoid mistakes or follow in their footsteps, as the case may be, right? We see choices in literature, we see choices in story, and we see how they turn out. We start to see and understand human nature, how people long for things to be fair, things to be right and good, for each of us to be understood. So the book I automatically think of when I think about a piece of good literature that really shows human nature is David Copperfield by Charles Dickens. It is my favorite Dickens book, and I haven't read them all, so take that for what it's worth, but I love David Copperfield, and this is why. It shows human nature. It shows the good, it shows the naive, it shows the humanity of people, how, most are trying to do good and stumbling a little, and some are trying to lead others a way you don't want to go, but it shows the consequences of the choices, and it shows just people navigating together and figuring out what's true and what's sincere. And I just really love that book, especially when you talk about relationships and and how to do relationships and what to avoid, what to be aware of. Love David Copperfield for that. So here's a few ideas on how to draw out these lessons from literature. And one you've heard me talk about before: read to your kids, no matter their age. And as you read, draw out the lessons from the books in natural conversation. What did you think about that character? Why didn't he see through what was just happening here? Discuss as you go and draw out the lessons that you get within the literature. Just naturally, right? It doesn't have to feel forced. It's just enjoying the story and recognizing the interactions of the characters and pointing out the ones that show growth, right? That show human nature, that show something that we could emulate. What did you think of that character? Or what did you think about what just happened? Do you trust that guy? Or conversations like that can be really fun to have while you read book, and it's all in the name of enjoying the book, not having a lesson, but through enjoying the book, the lessons are drawn out and these things become a part of us. Also, read on your own and practice thinking deeply about the things that you read. Draw out principles as you read on your own, and then share that with your kids. And discuss everything, because this practice of pulling out and drawing out these principles and lessons can be used when you discuss movies, plays, games, sports, and human reactions, like real life human reactions. You can practice discussing and debriefing these kind of things in a fun way that draws out lessons, and it reminds us that we are learning when we are watching a movie, when we are experiencing things. We are learning. We're not just getting entertained. We are learning. And if we draw out the lessons, then maybe we solidify the learning and it becomes more a part of us. To grab my free guide on 10 things you can do to inspire an environment of learning in your home, I invite you to click on the link below. I'll put it in the description box that will lead you over to my website. Sign up in that box and I will send that PDF right to your inbox. Thanks for watching. Here's to you for seeking out the tools you need to create that environment of learning in your home. You've got this.